In this video, an impressive sized bodybuilder performs pull-ups quite clean, but after 10 repetitions the quality drops significantly, and finally the result is only 18 repetitions, while any more or less athletic person, but with smaller dimensions, would easily perform more. So where is the line after which the weight stops helping to perform pull-ups? Let's take a look at some examples. Here is the well-known Hafthor Bjornsson 3 years ago. At a weight of 180 kilos tries to do pull-ups. As you can see, the form is pretty bad, and having done the actual 10 repetitions, I wouldn't count a single one, although the athlete himself seems to be satisfied.
10 pull-ups! Now you Kelsey.
At the same time, Brian Shaw did 6 reps, but more cleanly than Hafthor did, and Brian is monster, whose weight at the peak of his form reached 200 kilos. It is impossible to objectively say why two similar in anthropometry giants show different results, because hundreds of factors will affect it, but what can be said for sure is that a huge body weight will definitely impair your results in working with your own weight. 2 years ago, a company of arm wrestlers organized a challenge in which they had to hold on the rope with the maximum possible weight for 3 seconds. Everything started with 50 kg, which all the participants nailed quite easily, and the challenge ended up with 115 kg. As you see, it is not easy to pull up with such a weight, as well as to hold on for 3 seconds. At such moments, the records of Vitaly Fishuk, for example, seems really impressive. Of course, any records on the bar can be argued with only one word: focus. That is everything that you will devote enough time to will start to work out for you, even if you are a heavyweight. For example, American strongman Derek Poundstone, who in addition to his standard workout devotes his time to bodybuilding training, with his own weight of 154 kg did 11 repetitions. This was 15 years ago at the peak of the athlete's career, but his technique was more like a muscle building form, but at least he did not have the inertia similar to other weightlifters. And here is Martin Licis, who's not only liked to pull up but really focused year after year trying to break his personal record in this movement. First he did 10 clean pull-ups, then 13, and finally he published short in which at 150 kg he did 15 clean pull-ups. However, we see that the records of these guys are about the same as the norms in PE in 9th grade, where the B grade was given for 10 repetitions and A for 15 or higher. In general, after analyzing all the champions in pull-ups, we can conclude that the pull-ups with your own weight, the smaller your weight, the better. But with weights, it is not so simple. Pure muscle mass and focus on pulling up make athletes with weights in the range from 90 kilos to 105 kilos the most effective in terms of pulling ups with weights. All the craziest records on the bars are demonstrated in this corridor. All athletes with own weight less than 80 kg and more than 110 kg will be losing in this discipline. When we talk about weightlifters, many people probably do not fully realize how these guys looks like in reality. It's not every day we meet people who are 2 meters tall and weigh 180 kilograms in real life. For example, weightlifter Brian Shaw with his own weight around 180 looks like a real giant in economy class of a plane. So when an athlete with such dimensions in general does something like pull-ups with his own weight, it is surprising. For example, let's take a look how Eddie Hall is doing pull-ups. I would say that the result is pretty decent. It is 10 pull-ups. Yes, with a swing, but as Eddie later admitted, exactly in this style he managed to get his chin over the bar. Otherwise, with such weight, the upper phase of the movement was the most difficult for him. The same can be said about all the other athletes that we spoke about today, except arm wrestlers. They have a problem in the lower part of the amplitude as well. Again, it is the result of the specifics of their training. Here is the example of 180 kilograms Livan Saginashvili. And finally, the athlete that I always point out as an example when it comes to heavy weight on the bar is a big boy. This big guy who weighs 160 kilos does 100 pull-ups per workout. He has enough explosive power at the start to do pull-ups with Frank Medrano and clap in the front of himself. His friend, right after prison, did 40 reps being also not a little guy. And big boy himself never stopped trying to achieve muscle-ups, and his last attempt looks something like this.
I was even closer. I didn't do the.
I was about to pop the champagne right now, man.
Too early, too early.
I was like,
Damn.
Anyway, no matter how much your weight is or what level you are at right now, even if it's 0 pull-ups, we recently dropped a great video on just how to learn pull-ups, where we shared absolute every possible secret and mechanic for achievement both your first pull-up and further progression in this movement. So click here and take a look. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and write down your comment. See ya!